everybody, it's me, Granddaddy Love Cars, and I'm here to make a video about a car that Chevrolet just released about a week or so ago. It's just like mine. Well, maybe not just like mine, but they cousins. Maybe big brother, little brother, if you put it. This big brother, this new one, the refined little brother. But since we're talking about Corvettes, let me let y'all hear mine. Because mine, like I said, big brother got to show out. Let me show y'all something first before we get into this here video. And this was a warm start. Like I said, very, 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 there you go. Very, very far from factory. Now, I'm gonna say this. The other week, I made a video trolling this new vehicle, C8 Corvette ZR1. Brand new 2025 Corvette ZR1. And I'm here to tell y'all why I hate it already. I was trolling. I said I didn't like it. I don't like the predicted price. I don't like the fake competition with other manufacturers. I said all this stuff. Let me tell y'all something today. Granddaddy was lying. I was busting your balls. Let me tell y'all something, everybody. The new C8 ZR1 is something unprecedented that, honestly, I don't even think that the car enthusiast, the car world, car market itself knew was gonna happen. Unlike C6, which came out LS2, 400 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque, 2008 plus C6 base model came out 430 horsepower, 400 pound-feet of torque. Let's skip to C6 ZR1, 638 horsepower. Let's skip to C7 ZR1, 755 horsepower. Let's skip to C8 Z06. If I'm not mistaken, has like 670 horsepower, if I'm not mistaken. Already mid-engine, dual overhead cam, flat plane crate, and I don't want to say this to take credit away from Chevrolet, General Motors, and America, but it's a baby Ferrari motor, literally 5.5 liter in displacement, 600 something horsepower, good power rating, and that's the Z06. The new ZR1 Corvette has 1,064 horsepower. Let me say that again. 1,064 horsepower, 800 plus pound-feet of torque. I can end the video right there. I can end it right there. But let me tell you why I really love, so far, the C8 ZR1. Now let me tell y'all something. First off, the technology has come so way. Whether you hate it or love it, front mount, push rod, simplest equation you can have in a motor is this. is just nearly perfected. All through the C7 range, the C6 range, the C7 range, you have this LS to LT transition, but still essentially perfection of a push rod motor. And you know, Built can take these motors anywhere. Even in the C8 base models, you have another LT push rod motor pushing out nearly 500 horsepower. Z06 and Z06 ZR1, 670 horsepower in the Z06, 1,064 horsepower in the ZR1. You know why? Same exact motor. Same motor. Dual overhead cam. 5.5 liter displacement. I'm pretty sure forged internals. A flat plane crank. Now, the only difference is this. It's two swirly boys on each side. They added twin turbos, one for each side. And this engine is literally like 2 4-cylinders. Literally. Not only because of the crankshaft is a flat plane crank and that firing order, also the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, I think that the intake manifold is split in the middle, unlike Z06, where each turbocharger is literally feeding its own little 4-cylinder. It's amazing. The car, like I said, the technology has gone away. If the engineers from back in the day who created these first Corvettes, the first Performance Edition Corvettes, even other manufacturers, if they could see this now, Smokey Unick, Carroll Shelby, just all these great, the Dodge brothers, their mind would be blown. If I'm here to say the new C8 ZR1 will be one of the fastest cars to ever perform on the Nürburgring. Somebody please test that. The aftermarket for it, you don't need one. It's 1,000+ horsepower, the most powerful motor Chevy has ever, GM has ever made. The C7 ZR1 has 755 horsepower. This is way more than that. You've reached 4 digits now. There's going to be, of course, people that make exhaust and things like that, but you don't need one. Also, the turbochargers almost directly go into each cylinder bank, because there's literally the turbo, an intercooler right in the intake manifold. Turbo, intercooler, intake manifold. Now, a lot of turbos, especially aftermarket kits, what do you see? Turbo is placed wherever, may it be here, there, front. It goes through a routing and piping. It goes through the intercooler, usually that's typically in the front. No. Turbocharger, intercooler, intake manifold. It's blowing a lot of PSI right into that motor. And I just had to make this video to say I was busting y'all's balls. The C8 ZR1 will be one of the best cars in American history. And furthermore, there hasn't been a car that's released in such a while that has got so much attention. There's been plenty of cars released. A lot of them had, the hype behind a lot of these cars have dwindled down almost to a point of, okay, what's next? No, this ZR1 has had motion behind it. People are putting in pre-orders. People are getting their C8, Z06 ready to trade for the ZR1. Now, let me tell you something. One thing that people been saying, 4,000 pounds, which isn't very heavy, but it's heavier. And apparently, this, if it's actually going to be around 4,000 pounds, will be the heaviest mid-engine vehicle, period. However, 1,000 horsepower to 4,000 pounds is a lot of power still for not too much weight. Understand that. That's not very much weight. And one thing that also we have to think about, like I said, people are literally getting their Z06, C8 Z06s together, preparing them to trade in for C8 ZR1s. Which leads me to the point of, what will the price be? We don't really know yet. Now, and I also say that in the sense of, it's multifaceted. The MSRP versus dealer markup, because we know for the past 5 years, dealer markup has been a thing of torn into a monstrosity. So let's say the C8 ZR1. Now I've had to make my own predictions. I don't know what the Z06 costs, but if I had to make an educated guess, I'm giving the MSRP of the most basic one you can get, MSRP of, I would guess about 135,000, 120 to, I'll say 120 to $135,000, somewhere around that ballpark range. We know for a fact, especially these big time dealers in large cities like I live in Atlanta, we can know Miami, we can know even cities like Memphis, Baltimore, Detroit, Los Angeles. All these cities have big top nationwide dealerships. They're going to slap on a minimum of 50,000. Some will be 100,000. Some will be so astronomical with dealer markup, it'll be unbelievable. That's the only downside of this vehicle. Now I will also say, the new, like I said, the new C8 is mid-engine. That engine that's in that Z06, now in the ZR1 with a boost on it, it's been a pretty decent engine as well. It's fast. So far, so good for the most part. It's becoming almost the new recipe, is slowly but surely becoming the normal recipe. And I say that to say that the technology, the engineering, the ingenuity as well, that's being put into that new LT. If I'm not mistaken, I think the new one that's in the ZR1 may be called the LT5. It's an LT song. I know the LT1 was in the base Camaro and the regular C8. No, LT1 was in the regular Camaro, a C7 Corvette. LT2 is the mid-engine. It's the C8. The base C8 has the LT2, and I wanna say the new one and the ZR1 may be called the LT4 or 5. I think it's 5. I'm not sure, but regardless, this new platform. Now, one thing that's confusing, it's a LT, which those were push rods, and all those C7s and 6th gen Camaros, but now it's still named an LT. However, it's not any way, shape, or form any similarity to those LT motors, those push rod ones, at all. So I just want to take this time to say, Granddaddy sorry, because I lied to y'all. I bold-faced lied. That C8 ZR1 is going to be heaven sent. All you can do is say, thank God for Chevy. Even though they going a little Euro spec. Thank God for Chevy. I want y'all to, now I'm going to say this too. Pro Charger, if you're listening, please sponsor Granddaddy. Please. Corsa Exhaust, if you're listening, please sponsor Granddaddy. I love y'all. Don't drink and drive. Don't drug and drive. Stay away from them drugs, period. Wear your seatbelt. Put God first and say them prayers. I better see y'all at church on Sunday. Driving your fast car. I love y'all. Granddaddy out.